Why are alarms not working for you when you set them to help you tackle your tasks? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video what I did wrong and what actually helps. Hey guys, I'm Nick McLaughlin. I'm an executive function coach and I specialize in ADHD. And I'm going to simplify my answer here with this background. You are trying to tackle tasks, be on time, be punctual, remember things, and it's really difficult. So you depend on something like an alarm, right? But what happens is you push snooze and it doesn't work because of one thing. What happened with me that I ended up learning the hard way many times, especially with sleep, it doesn't work very well to push snooze because what happens is this alarm goes off to wake up or to do a task. And let's say in that moment, you have a split-second decision where you can either establish a bad habit or a good habit. And what happens is every time you push snooze, you are quickly, let's say this dog is making this decision because you set an alarm to push bad habit, snooze. Okay, that doesn't make sense with the dog, but the dog makes sense later. Bad habit is snooze. You snooze your life, you snooze the progress, you snooze. When you snooze anything, just think of this as a procrastination button. If, however, you made this dog make a good habit, it's basically training your autopilot for not even having to push a button anymore. You just go and do that thing and you're going to continue doing that thing because you're creating a trigger. And this is where the dog actually makes sense. This is supposed to be Pavlov's dog. Pavlov, if you look him up, is a psychologist who basically created or really thoroughly understood classical conditioning. What happened was he trained his dog where every time he rang a bell, he would offer his dog a treat. That established a very specific habit that he wanted. So after time, Pavlov noticed every time I ring my bell, the dog salivates instead of every time I give him a treat. Because now the dog is associating the treat with the bell. So he's treating them the same. So I thought that was kind of interesting because when you push snooze on your alarm, you are basically making that a habit. So every time I push snooze, I originally thought it's just because I'm still tired. But the problem is there's a bunch of times where you're tired, but you can easily get up. It's just taking your willpower away because now you're associating when the alarm goes off, it's no longer to make a decision to ask myself, am I tired? But more so, I'm used to pushing this button, to push the button. Let's say you want to work in 20 minutes. You set an alarm and what happens is you push snooze. The alarm is a trigger. The sound is a trigger. Every time it goes off, you're triggering an option to make a very specific decision. Okay, so let's just say that every time you make a decision, what's happening is you're where this dog is here so far. You hear this alarm, split moment to make a decision. Am I going to make a bad habit or a good habit? What am I going to do? Most of the time, if it's comfortable and if we haven't gotten intentional, it's almost always going to be bad habit. You're going to push this bad habit button. So when you're snoozing, what you're doing is you're actually taking your decision away from yourself. Because once you're on autopilot, you don't really realize that you could have had a decision. And we do this a lot in our lives. I know I do this a lot in my life, or I used to even more. If you're used to pushing the snooze button when you're tired, let's just say you're waking up and you want to get up, but you're tired and you push the snooze button. Okay, got it. But now you're so used to doing that after a few days, and now you just push the snooze button without thinking. You're like a zombie now. You have no decision, no free will. You just push the button. Snooze, 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 snooze every time. So what happens is you can't even get to the good decision. You can't even create a good habit because you've taken that decision away from yourself. So what I want you to do is first get intentional and ask yourself, what is the good habit that I make it, make it doable, but you don't want to associate that alarm, which is supposed to wake you up, with the bad habit. You want to associate the alarm with the good habit. So the next time you set an alarm, make sure you're doing it with an intention of what exactly that means. So you can even be intentional with the snooze alarm. That's something I used to do before I had my son. I would use a snooze alarm as my kind of pre-wake up where I'd say, great, I can push it one time, but after that, I have to get up. And it's only for 5 minutes. So, because if you fall back asleep, it's actually statistically proven that it actually doesn't get you more sleep. If you just like push snooze and let yourself sleep a little longer, it actually doesn't work. It actually does the opposite. It makes you more tired. So you can basically be the director of your life and sitting in the director's chair, or you can just be a couch potato, have no free will and just say, oh, I don't know, snooze, snooze. You can't have both. You have to choose. And what happens is if you wait until this moment where the alarm's already going off, it's going to be so much harder because you already have established what to do and your brain is already on autopilot. So before you set your alarm. Let yourself know what it means. And you know what? It's actually better to not even set an alarm at all if you're just going to snooze unintentionally, especially. Make it so that you have to have a choice. Take the good one. Take the choice that serves you, puts you in the director's chair of your life. And so if this is something you struggle with, there's all kinds of tools and even coaching in the link in the description below. Like and subscribe. And if you would like to leave a comment, I'd love to know what you thought of this video. And if you actually like the style of these videos, I don't really know. I'm just kind of having fun. So later, neighbors.